Very good morning, friends, and we are back today with a new class, new session, and a new experience with economics. And today we will be discussing about a very new concept, but a very common and interesting concept. That is, today we will be discussing about elasticity of demand. Okay, elasticity of demand. This is a very interesting concept. Okay. But before I start with that concept, let me just tell you about what we had discussed last class. See, our discussion in the last class was about the demand supply, the functions of demand, the determinants of demand, and how the difference in price, like what happens, the theory of demand, as you remember, says that when the prices of the commodity decreases, demand increases, and when the prices of the commodity falls down, demand increases, and if the prices of the commodity increases, demand falls down. So this is a common phenomena which we have seen, and I have cited a few examples where I have told you that the price factor, price income, plays a very important role in determining the demand or in determining the purchasing power of an individual. Now talking about demand, demand is nothing but the purchasing power or the willingness to buy something. But this demand curve, which we have already discussed, the demand curve always slopes down. As I told you in the last class, the demand curve always slopes down. Now what is the reason why it slopes down is, there are two important reasons. One is that demand is again determined of the price. Okay, like for example, suppose the price of the commodities fall down, the demand for the commodities will increase and people will buy that product more and more. Similarly, when the price of, say for example, suppose the cost of onion is now rupees 30 per kg. Suppose the cost of onion becomes rupees 100, then you will see that the demand for onion will come down in the market. It's not like that people will stop buying, because onion is an important ingredient for cooking. Because you know, onion is required, if we don't use, but the different hotels and restaurants, they are going to use. So maybe the price increase will have not much effect on us, but will have great effect on other places like restaurants and hotels. But then what will happen? The people will not stop buying, but what will happen? The demand will decrease. The people who were buying onions, 2 or 3 kg of onions at once at rupees 20 per kg or rupees 30 per kg, have now to think, they'll think before buying that if the cost of onion is now 90 rupees or the cost of onion is 100 rupees, then we are going to buy only little bit just for the priority base or for those items which are highly necessary. Is it clear? So last class we had a very elaborate discussion on that. Then we had discussed the determinants of demand, like price of the goods, substitute goods, complementary goods, okay, and how population is having an impact on demand. Like as I told you, thickly populated area or the place where population is very high or population is huge, we can say, then the demand will be definitely at a higher rate. Why? Because more people are residing, so their necessities and the demand will be more. Then we had also discussed the climate. Now see, climate is also playing a very important role in the demand, because depending upon the climatic situation or depending upon the climatic surroundings, the demand for certain products or commodities will either increase or decrease. Okay, like suppose you are living in a very cool climate, then demand for warm clothes, blankets, sweaters, shawls will be more. Why? Because the particular place is cool throughout the year. But on the other hand, if we think of a place like Berhampur only, where throughout the year it is too sticky, hot and very humid climate, the demand for products like AC will be more, because people want comfort. So demand for AC will be always high in the market. So climate too plays a very important role as a determinant or of demand. So these things we had already discussed. I have given you some examples, and we have also discussed some of the exceptional cases last class. So today we are going to continue our discussion and we'll try to understand the concept of elasticity of demand. Is it clear? Okay. So what is elasticity of demand? Let us first try to understand what is elasticity. What is elasticity? Okay. Now this is a very new concept. Okay. That is, we are talking about elasticity of demand. Okay. Elasticity is nothing but it describes the sensitiveness or responsiveness towards demand. I'll just write it down. It is what? Sensitiveness or the responsiveness we are going to say sensitiveness or responsiveness. Sensitiveness and responsiveness of what? We are going to discuss the sensitiveness and responsiveness of demand. So this particular concept, that is elasticity of demand, actually explains. What does it explain? It explains what we are going to talk about here. We are going to discover sensitivity and responsiveness. It explains what is the change of the demand. Okay, explains what will be the change in demand. Please remember these words. What will be the change in demand when there is change in the determinants, of demand. Okay, please try to understand this particular definition. Now, right now what we are going to discuss is, we are going to talk about elasticity of demand, which is again a new concept. Now, what is elasticity? See, elasticity actually explains the responsiveness or the sensitiveness of a demand. Now, what exactly we are going to discuss here, or we are going to study? See, here we are exactly going to study that what will be the change in demand when there is change in the determinants of demand. So the determinants of demand, as I have told you, we have discussed regarding the price, income, population, climate, substitute goods, complement. So these are the determinants. So here we are going to study what will be the relationship of demand, okay, when the determinants of demand fluctuate or they change. For example, you say what will happen if the income changes, what will happen when the price changes, what will happen when their substitute goods changes, what will happen if complementary goods changes. So exactly in the concept of elasticity of demand, we are going to study the complex relationship or the relationship between the one hand we are having demand and the other hand we are having the determinants of demand. So that means we are going to see that if the determinants of demand change, do they have an impact on the demand? Are you getting my point? So we are here going to understand that if the determinants of demand like income, price, they change, whether the demand changes in the same way. For example, if price changes, whether the demand also changes. If, like for example, if price increases, whether the demand increases. If price is decreasing, whether demand is decreasing. Similarly, take the example as income as a determinant. Now, if income increases, whether the demand for particular commodity increases, yes or no, and whether when the income decreases, whether the demand decreases or not. So these things we are going to discuss in this interesting phenomena, that is elasticity of demand. I hope you got the meaning. Okay. Therefore, we are saying elasticity means responsiveness or sensitivityness, where we are going to understand or we are going to study the relationship of demand and the determinants of demand. Are you getting my point? Okay. So now let us move further. Okay, so you can see on the board I have written the definition. It is the sensitivity or the responsiveness. It explains what will be the change in demand when there is a change in the determinants of the demand. Is it clear? Okay, let us move further. Now, this elasticity of change can be discussed under three headings. One we are saying as price elasticity. Okay. Price elasticity. Second is your income elasticity. Is it clear? Income elasticity. And third is your cross elasticity. Okay. So we are going to discuss the concept of elasticity of demand in three different headings. One is your price elasticity, okay, see price, second is income, and third is your cross. Now, what is price elasticity? Okay, we are going to discuss in price elasticity, we are going to discuss what will be the change in demand when there is a change in price. For example, the price falls down or whenever the price increases. Similarly, when it comes to income elasticity, we are going to discuss what will be the nature of demand when income raises or the income is less. Similarly, for cross elasticity, we are going to discuss that whether there is any connection or whether there is a relationship between the other products. For example, if we talk about substitute products or we talk about complementary products, whether changes in those products will have an impact on demand. So this thing we are going to discuss right now. Okay. Now let us first little bit try to understand that this elasticity of demand in the market actually explains the increase or decrease. So the concept of elasticity actually was given by Marshall. So he was the Alfred Marshall has clearly explained this concept. Okay. Alfred Marshall has clearly given the concept of elasticity, and he says that in normal elasticity, see now you understood we are going to discuss the elasticity of demand, that is responsiveness or sensitiveness of demand, where we are going to study what is the relation between demand and the other determinants of demand. That means if the determinants of demand change, whether increase or decrease, whether there is any impact on the demand. So this thing we are going to study in the elasticity of demand, but again that is divided into three different categories, that is price elasticity, your income elasticity, and your cross elasticity. Is it clear? Now elasticity of demand we are going to discuss in 5 different types. So I will just put here. Okay, what are those? Number 1 is your types. See, these are the 3 broad headings which we are going to discuss. Now, types of elasticity. You can write here or just note down types of elasticity. Okay, what are the different types of elasticity that we are going to discuss? First, we are going to discuss perfect elasticity. Just note it down, try to understand, then I will explain with examples. Perfect elasticity. Okay, the first one is perfect elasticity, then is perfect inelasticity, inelastic, perfect, inelastic. Okay, then is relative elastic, relative elastic, then is number 4 is relative inelastic, and then last one is unitary elastic. Is it clear? Unitary elastic. So we are going to discuss the concept of elasticity of demand under 3 broad categories, that is we are going to study price elasticity, we are going to study income elasticity, and we are going to study price cross elasticity. But again this each determinant like price, income, cross elasticity we are going to discuss under subheadings like types of elasticity, that is what is perfect elasticity, what is perfect inelastic, what is relative elastic, what is relative inelastic, and what is unitary elastic. So these things we are now going to discuss in detail. Okay, now let us move further. Okay, now let us first discuss what do you mean by, the first one is your perfect elastic. Okay, perfectly elastic is what? Number 1. Let us discuss number 1. Perfect. Perfect elastic. Okay, so what is perfect elastic? perfect elastic is a phenomena, or it is a feature that what happens when price is constant, change in demand. So what happens here? Price in perfect elastic, here price is constant. Price is constant. But the demand may increase or decrease. Increase or decrease. Are you getting my point? So what happens in perfect elastic? In perfect, the price is constant, change in demand. Here demand may increase or decrease. Now I will give you one example. Say for example, the example is price of say, take for example price of tomato. Okay, it is a vegetable. Tomatoes is rupees 30 per kg. This is the price. Now the price of tomato is constant in the market, is rupees 30. So there is no change, it remains rupees 30 only, it is a constant. Now what happens? Price is constant here, price is constant throughout the, suppose we take throughout the week, Throughout the week, the price of tomato remains constant, it is rupees 30 per kg. Now what happens here? As the price is constant, now what will happen to the demand? Demand here may increase or decrease. That means as the price of tomatoes has not been gone through any changes like either increase or decrease, but the demand may increase or may not increase. Like it may have higher demand in the market, may not, like depending upon the consumption and depending upon the use. So if the price of the tomato is rupees 30, I may buy as usual 2 kg of tomatoes when I am going to market, or when I feel that the price of tomato remaining same, so let me buy only half kg, because there is not much difference. Okay. So what happens in perfect elastic? The price is same, there is no change in the price of the commodity, but we don't know what will be the demand. The demand may have an increase all of a sudden, or the demand may also increase. And here we will get a graph which will be like this. Is it clear? So why it is like this? Because it explains a situation where we are talking about a perfect elastic situation. Why we are saying it's perfect elastic? Because price factor is remaining constant, but the demand for the particular product or the demand for the particular commodity may fluctuate. Now what is this fluctuate? May fluctuate in a sense that it may increase also or it may decrease, as I gave you this example of tomato. Take another example. Suppose, say for example, cost of fish. Cost of fish in the market is rupees 100 per kg. So there is, cost is same, like last week you brought 2 kg of fish, the cost was rupees 100. This week also you are going to buy fish, it is 100. Now there is no change in the cost, but what will happen to the demand? The demand depends upon the consumption and use of the consumer or people like you and me. So if I want, I can buy 4 kg of fish at the same rate, or I can even buy less or half kg, or I cannot, I buy little bit less. So here the demand may increase or decrease. So this particular phenomena or this particular concept is known as your perfect elastic concept, where please remember why we are saying it is a perfect elastic, because here the price factor remains constant, but the demand may increase or decrease. Is it clear? Now let us discuss what is perfect inelastic. Okay, now let us discuss what is perfect inelastic. Perfect inelastic. Okay, so first one was perfect elastic. What is perfect inelastic? Now perfect inelastic said that whenever there is change in price, please write down, note it down, whenever there is change in price, comma, there is no change in demand. there is no change in demand. Are you getting my point? Whenever there is changes in price, there is no. Now what we had discussed in perfect elastic? Perfect elastic we had discussed that price was constant, but we do not know whether the demand may increase or decrease. So demand may also increase or demand may also decrease. But when we are talking about the concept of phenomenon of perfect inelastic, here we see that whenever there is a change in price, there is no change in demand. For example, you can see essential goods. Here essential goods. Essential goods. For example, take one packet of milk. Now one packet of milk cost is now as usual rupees 20. In the market, if you take Omfed packet or any normal packet of milk, it is rupees 20. That is the average rate I am discussing. Now suppose the price of milk now due to some reason, maybe transportation problem or due to some reason, the price of same packet of milk now from rupees 20 it comes to rupees 40. Are you getting my point? Okay. So what happens? Even if there is a change in the price, the demand will not change. Now suppose every day, say every day 1000 packets were sold by a shopkeeper. Then the same 1000 packets will be sold even today where the price of the milk packet is rupees 20. Why? Because milk is an essential product. So we see that perfect inelastic concept fits best in case of those products which are your very essential products. Okay, very essential products. Because see, perfect inelastic says that when there is change in price, there is no change in demand. So even if the price of the commodity is slightly changed, less or more, but the demand will not change because people will use those products anyhow because they need that. Okay. So this is a perfect inelastic. Then let us discuss about relative elastic. Relative elastic. Now what is relative elastic concept is for luxury goods. Okay. Now luxury goods are what? Costly goods or goods which are giving you luxury like car, buildings, flats. Okay. Now relative elastic states that a slight, what does it states? A slight change, a minor or slight change, a minor or slight change in the price, change in the price brings a, what happens? A drastic change, brings a drastic, or you can say drastic or more change in demand. So what does the concept of perfect elastic state here? Perfect elastic states that a minor change or slight change in the price brings a drastic change or sizable change or a notice change in the demand. And this example can be given for luxury goods. I will give you an example. For example, take the example of gold. Now, gold price was 32, then it increased to 45. I am talking about 10 grams or 11 grams of gold. Previously it was 32,000, then it increased to 45,000. Now suppose this 45,000 will reduce to say just 40,000 or 42,000. Difference of only 3,000 rupees. The difference is very less. You see here. Please try to understand the example. We are talking about relative elastic concept of phenomena where we are saying that a minor change in the price brings a drastic or a notice or a big change in the demand. Now this example fits best for luxury goods. Now gold is a luxury good. Okay. Now what happens when the normal rate was gold was somewhere, I am talking about 6 months back, the normal rate of gold was around 32,000 or 33,000 or 34,000 for 11 grams. Now say for example last month the price of gold was 45,000 for 11 grams. Okay. Now last week only there is a slight drop. What is the slight drop or decrease in the price of gold? Now the price of gold which was 45,000 now has reduced to 42,000. That means there is only a difference of 3,000 rupees. But the slight difference or minus difference in the price has led to huge demand. Due to huge demand. Because a minor change in price is also bringing lot of difference for the people. So people who are habituated to buy these luxury goods, they will definitely buy the good even if there is a slight change, because that counts a lot for them. So this is known as relative elastic concept. Is it clear? Now let us move to the relative inelastic concept. Okay, relative inelastic concept. Okay, what is relative inelastic? Relative inelastic concept is for very necessary goods here, necessary goods. Now what happens here? Here it says that a slight change, okay, slight change in the prices of the goods will lead to very less change in the demand. So what does it say? Mere change, or we can say slight, mere change means very less. Mere change in prices of goods brings slight change in demand. Change in demand. Are you getting my point? What does concept say? That relative inelastic concept holds best for necessary goods. Okay, necessary goods, where we are saying that mere change in the price of the goods brings slight change in the demand. For example, we will take necessary goods. Suppose you say our potato. Potato is a vegetable which is necessary to be added in every curry. Like we can survive, suppose the rate of vegetables grows very high, 40 rupees, 50 rupees, if we cannot afford, then we will not buy vegetables. But definitely potato is something essential. Or our essential goods are like paste, soap, these are essential goods. Suppose we take for example the paste, toothpaste. Suppose you take the better example of toothpaste. Suppose toothpaste is an essential commodity. Toothpaste costs rupees 20. Okay, one small medium sized toothpaste costs rupees 20. But now what has happened, this has prices now become rupees 23. That is from 20 it has increased to rupees 23. Even if there is a slight change in the price, the demand will not change as such. Is less or slight change. Now why it is so? In relative inelastic, we are talking about the concept where mere change in the prices brings slight change in demand, and this best fits in necessary goods. Now our necessary goods or the goods which we are using on daily basis, take for example your toothpaste, soap, then your eatables. Okay. Now what happens here, if there is, like I gave you the example, suppose the cost of a medium sized toothpaste is rupees 20, now from 20 it has now come to 23 rupees, a slight change, means difference of rupees 3 is only there. Okay. Even if there is a difference of rupees 3, but there is no significant change in the demand, because necessary goods people will buy in the same phenomena, in the same kind of fashion, like in the same rate. It is not like that if there is a fall also in the price of the toothpaste from rupees 20 to 80, it does not mean that instead of buying 2 toothpaste in a month, I will buy 10 toothpaste. It is not like that, because necessary goods, we know what is the quantity of necessary goods consumed and what is the use of these necessary goods. So what happens is, whenever there is a slight change in the food, in the items or the goods, in case of necessary items or necessary goods, then you will see that the demand has not that much impact. That means there is a very insignificant or very less or very less noticed change in the demand. Why? Because we are talking about the necessary goods, and necessary goods consumption is always restricted, like we will consume only that much as it is required. Okay. So, this is the example of a relative inelastic or goods, where we find that a mere change in the price of the goods brings very slight change in the demand. So, why it is so? Now, this question comes to the mind that why it is so. See, this is because we are talking about necessary goods, and the use of necessary goods is always restricted or is having some kind of, like we have a use, we have a specific use, or we use in a quantity. If the toothpaste price comes down, it does not mean that I will use 5 toothpaste in a month instead of 1 or 2 toothpaste. Are you getting my point? So, this is how we are discussing the concept of relative inelastic for necessary goods. Now, let us move further, come to the last part, that is unitary elastic concept. Is it clear? I hope these 4 examples are clear. Once we finish, we will just brush on. Okay, the last one is the unitary elastic concept. Unitary elastic okay, last one. Now, unitary elastic says that the change in the price is equivalent, change in price is same as change in demand. Is it clear? So, this last part, that is unitary elastic concept or the unitary elastic phenomena, says that the change in price of a particular commodity, whatever will be the change in price in the commodity, likewise the demand will always be the same. That is known as unitary. Unitary means equal. That means what? If there is a change in, suppose there is a increase, take for example, suppose there is increase in price, then there will be increase in demand also, increase in demand, or decrease in price. Okay. Now, what happens here? Here the unitary concept says that change in demand and price are the same. Okay. Are you getting my point? Whatever is the change in demand and the price, there is equivalent, it is same. So, here we will get a sloping graph. Why? Because just now, because we have already studied according to the law of demand that whenever the price of goods comes down, demand will be more. Whenever the price of goods increases, demand will be less. So, here why it is saying that a change in price and change in demand will be same? Because as we have already studied that the relationship between price and demand is inversely proportional. So, when price increases, demand is less. When price decreases, demand. So, in unitary elastic concept, this particular phenomena is observed where price and change in demand remains the same. Like price increases, demand decreases, price decreases, demand. So, this happens in a uniform way. Therefore, we are saying that the change in price is same as the change in demand. So, this is your unitary elastic concept. Is it clear? So, let us now just have a look on all the concepts. Like we discussed about the types of elasticity. We have today discussed about the elasticity of demand, where we are talking about the responsiveness, or where we are talking about the sensitiveness, or where we are talking about the relationship between the demand and the determinants of demand. And I told you that the elasticity of demand can be discussed under 3 broad headings, that is your price demand, price elasticity, demand elasticity, and cross elasticity. Now, coming to the types of elasticity, we have again 5 different types, that is your perfect elastic, perfect inelastic, relative elastic, relative inelastic, and unitary elastic. Now, just now we finished with the unitary elastic. I told you unitary elastic is when we are observing that the change in price is same as the change in demand. That means, as the law of demand holds true here, that increase in price will lead to decrease in demand, and decrease in price will lead to increase in, so we will get here a sloping curve. Like if you plot in a graph, we will get a sloping curve towards downwards. Okay. Then coming to the first one, what is perfect elastic? Perfect elastic says that price remains constant, but the demand may change or may not change. That means the demand may increase or may not increase. That is a perfect elastic. So what is perfect elastic? Perfect elastic is your price as a determinant of demand is same, constant, but the demand may increase or may not increase. That is, may decrease or increase. Then come to perfect inelastic. Perfect inelastic says that whenever there is change in price, there is no change in demand. Okay, price, there is a change, slight change in the price, a significant change, but the demand is there is no change. Then come to relative elastic. Relative elastic, we discussed about the luxury items, where we have discussed that a slight change in the price will bring a sizable change or significant change in the demand. In case of luxury goods, I gave you the example of gold. Then come to relative inelastic demand, where we discussed that a mere change in the price leads to, like small changes or slight changes in the price will lead to slight changes in the demand also. Okay, this is in case of necessary goods, where we are going to, even if there is a change, like suppose the price of the necessary goods increases by few percentage or decreases by few percentage, but still the demand will have not much impact or will not have much effect, because we are talking about the necessary goods, and the necessary goods are being used by us on the daily basis. So even if there is a change in price, okay, mere change, but the demand as such is not changed significantly. So that is your concept of perfect, relative inelastic. Then we have discussed the last part, that is unitary elastic concept, where we discussed about the what? We discussed that change in price and change in demand will remain the same. Therefore, we get a sloping curve here in case of relative, in case of unitary elastic curve or unitary elastic concept. Is it clear? I hope that you could understand today's elasticity of demand. We have some more points here to be discussed, which will be like how to measure the elasticity of demand. There are certain methods which will be going through it. These methods are quite easy. So just we have to remember that what are the methods. Okay, there are around 4 to 5 methods we are going to discuss in the next class. We will be discussing about the methods to measure the elasticity of demand. Like we are saying that elasticity is nothing but the responsiveness, sensitivity of demand. Or you remember or keep in your mind that in elasticity of demand, we are actually discussing the impact of demand or the relationship of demand with other determinants. Okay, if the determinants are changing, like your income, substitute goods company, then what is the impact on the price? So this thing we are going to discuss in elasticity. It is known as elasticity of demand. So next class we are going to discuss few of the important methods. I hope today's class was interesting. You can understand the concepts. Please try to analyze it, try to just understand it. I will come next class with some more examples, with some interesting examples, and we will continue our discussion on how to measure the elasticity of demand, what are the methods, and then we will be switching over to the supply concept, because with this we will complete a demand concept, and then I will switch over to the supply concept. Is it clear? Thank you. Have a nice day.